PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Trigger warning. This video contains images of blackface, discussions of racial trauma, examples of cultural mockery and stereotyping, references to slurs, discussions of discrimination and systemic racism, mentions of police violence, and racial profiling. Viewer discretion is advised.
I mean, Elvis was a talented guy.
Well, okay.
Not necessarily. You know better than I.
Yeah.
Let me ask it differently. How good was Elvis?
What Elvis did, he caused a lot of the populace, if you want to, and usually when people say populace, they usually mean white people, to start listening to a lot of music that normally they wouldn't have been listening to. And black people have been going out shaking their behind for centuries. And what the hell's unusual about that shaking their hips and stuff? And that's all Elvis was doing, was copying that. And he was doing our kind of music. That's black music. So what the hell am I supposed to get so excited about, man? He's the king and he's a piece of bunk. Sorry.
Let's talk about a very specific phenomenon. A lot of white celebrities are rebranding back to white. Like, the black eras are officially over.
PSA, being white and skinny is in again.
The wigs are off, the tans are fading, the BBLs are dissolving. It's giving factory reset. Welcome to the Great White Awakening. And they can do that because whiteness is always waiting for them. They can dip into blackness when it's profitable and slide right on back into whiteness when it's not. And that's privilege. And that's why a lot of people get really pissed off about these things. Because black people, we can't just wake up one day and decide that we're done being black. So they go looking for something to make them feel real. And in that pursuit, they reach for the most lucrative, convenient shortcut they can find. Black culture. Or at least a filtered, flattened version of it.
We tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell you. We tried to tell you. And y'all didn't want to listen. So now this is your problem. Black people busy learning doing line dances. And we got our fans out. Pat, 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 pat. We busy. We doing other stuff right now.
Because they don't want the full experience of blackness. They want the rhythm, not the blues.
Hey, welcome to Estevan TV. I'm at PushGapRadio.com.
PushGapRadio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome back to another edition of Shaka 401 and the main event on PushGapRadios.com. They want the rhythm, not the blues, baby. Very succinctly put. And why does it feel like every white girl, every celebrity white girl in the public eye, it's like they eventually hit a black phase, right? They say the rapper Eminem is the only white person who really knows, what it is to be a nigga. Black culture sells. They bullshit you and tell you it doesn't. Even when they send movies overseas, black movies don't sell so well. Yeah, they put foot to ass when Black Panther blew up, huh? You've been lying all along. But yeah, they get a black face. Lip fillers, lace fronts, black scents. That's speaking Ebonics. Slang, as they call it. BBLs, of course. Kardashians brought that to the forefront. We're going to break them down later on in the show. But yeah, today we're unpacking the culture vulture pipeline. This pattern of where white women borrow from blackness for clout, only to retreat into whiteness when it stops being convenient. Think about Ariana Grande. When Ariana wanted to be taken seriously to get that role for Wicked, she had to remind herself that she was white, and she dropped the black accent. Stop tanning. She's just an innocent little butterfly now. Yeah, in this video, we're going to dive into who laid the blueprint. The Kardashians. Kylie Jenner really kicked it off. Who cosplays? Alabama Barker. Some of you may know, some of you may not. And the collapse of Bad Bobby. The appropriation of black culture by white individuals and institutions has a long and complex history, spans various domains such as music, fashion, dance, and language. Everything we do, everything we touch, mine. Don't know if you recall some time ago, they wanted to do a class on Ebonics. Ebonics changes from region to region, hood to hood. Disposable. Cake in one place, one part of the country may mean one thing, and cake somewhere else may mean something else. Cake may mean money in one region. Cake may mean that work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, They're trying to break down the aspects of us. They've been studying us for years. We haven't been studying them. We have at one degree, but we haven't got like think tanks and things like that. These people study us, man. They're obsessed with us. Yeah, our language and vernacular. But you've seen this. They play black for a moment, then place it back on the shelf. You've seen examples of this in your lifetime. From yesteryear till today. Elvis Presley. Elvis, he was the king.
You got a problem talking?
Well, no, sir, I'm fine.
All right, keep it moving.
Oh, thank you very much.
Elvis Presley movies. He was the king.
Remember that? You probably don't remember that. That was from Godzilla with my boy Matthew Broderick, okay? From Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Elvis, he was the king. Anyway, but yeah, Elvis Presley gained fame by performing music rooted in black traditions. You all know that. The old heads been telling you that since you was able to crawl, able to listen to music. This often overshadowed black artists like Chuck Berry and Little Richard. You know, the cut Hound Dog that made Elvis such a big success was sang by a black woman, Big Mama Thornton, Pat Boone in the 1950s. Old Pat sanitized covers of songs by black artists such as Little Richard's Tutti Frutti were more palatable to white audiences, leading to greater commercial success for Old Pat. They take yours, lay it down, okay? They hate it when you do it, but now you know. Iggy Azalea, Australian rapper, she faced a lot of criticism on using a black accent, delving into the style without engaging with the culture. She don't know nothing about it. She just using it to make loot. They all do. Then they talk about how white kids emulate black culture while also despising it at the same time. Drop a comment below. Is this admiration or exploitation? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share if this gave you something to think about. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And remember this, the people who follow us aren't followers. From imitation to appropriation. Check it out.
Sometimes emulating and admiring others' cultures can be taken too far and therefore seen as disrespectful, whether it was intended or not. Other cultures are cool, but there's a fine line between appreciation and appropriation. We are living in a time where people are getting more and more vocal about systematic issues and racial tensions that in the past have been overlooked. Depending on what kind of person you are, you can view that as a blessing or a curse. Nonetheless, people guard their cultures and heritage with pride, and therefore it can get a little messy when others borrow from said cultures and are praised for it, whereas the cultures they're borrowing from receive zero credit. Also, oftentimes the things that are being borrowed from said cultures are characteristics or features that the cultures they originated from have been demeaned for in the past. So it becomes a matter of, why is a celebrity being praised for such and such when the culture it is being borrowed from has been doing such and such for years and fails to receive any recognition for it? This was exactly the case with Kylie Jenner. Kylie has been accused of cultural appropriation on several occasions. For example, Kylie is a fan of cornrows, and when she posted a photo on Instagram wearing them, the internet expressed their concerns. Activist and actress Amanda Stanberg commented on the photo to educate Kylie on why people were so upset by saying, quote, "When you appropriate black features and culture but fail to use your position of power to help black Americans by directing attention towards your wigs instead of police brutality or racism." She then expanded on her point in an extended Instagram post saying, quote, "Black features are beautiful, black women are not. This at least seems to be the mentality surrounding black femininity and beauty in a society built upon Eurocentric beauty standards. While white women are praised for altering their bodies, plumping their lips, and tanning their skin, black women are shamed, although the same features exist on them naturally." Kylie was recently called out for cultural appropriation again for allegedly copying the designs for her new camo line from a designer based in New York. Upon the release of the line, people went in on Twitter calling out publications who had credited Kylie for pioneering the camo look when it was actually Destiny's Child who originally made the two-piece camo look famous back in the early 2000s. Kylie's sister Kim Kardashian West has received her fair share of backlash for cultural appropriation as well, for reasons similar to what Amanda explained to Kylie. However, her most recent cultural appropriation accusations stemmed from the ads for her new KKW beauty line. In the ad, Kim's skin tone appears to be significantly darker than usual, which led many to accuse her of blackface and in turn exploiting black culture to sell her products. Miley Cyrus is also no stranger to a little cultural appropriation. During the era of her Bangers album, I think it's safe to say that Miley was very appreciative of the hip-hop culture and fully embraced it with the style of music she was making at the time and the persona that she presented on stage. For example, Miley went on a twerking frenzy, which is totally fine. I love a good twerk and get your life. But people began to take issue with it when the media began to say things like Miley is a twerking queen or she invented it. She didn't, so I can understand the frustrations around the situation, but more recently Miley was accused of cultural appropriation when she wore a bendy in an Instagram photo. Whenever we make mistakes, it's a great idea to take a step back, examine the situation, and acknowledge what you did wrong so then you can educate yourself and learn from it. By now, I'm sure you guys are just itching to get to that comment section if you haven't done so already, so let all your thoughts out in the comment section below and don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, nigga, Miley Cyrus invented the twerk. Quit playing. They say Kylie Jenner was the start of the pipeline. White performers in blackface caricatured black people, laying the groundwork for future cultural exploitation. They done built billion-dollar brands off our backs, influenced global beauty standards, and made headlines for 2 decades, but at what cost? Kardashians just cashing in, man. What they do? They made themselves up like the very people they hate. Full of lips, fat ass, bodies curved, something they used to beat black women down about. Now it's mainstream because they did it. Remember Bo Derek? When the Kardashians get the cornrows, they're style icons. His name to get a cornrows a name, the Bo Dereks, the Bo Derek braids. Or is it just culture vultures profiting off black women's features? You know, the older Kardashians are Armenian, right? You remember they dad, Robert Kardashian, in OJ's trial of the century? Yeah. They're Armenian from West Asia, but they'll never seem to celebrate their own culture. You know, Kim got famous back in 2007 with the sex tape. Ray J, you know the business. See when Serena Williams and them got a fat old fart locker, you see how they treat it versus how they treat Kim when she went and got her pooch shooter stretched out. You know what I'm saying? Plastic surgery, them fillers. White folk don't understand. We're not your trend, mind. We the culture. What are the economic benefits of the Kardashians? How much you think they pulling in? Silent as hell on black issues, though. Tell it's trendy. Now, if it's popping, they're going to get out there. George Floyd. Yeah, they're going to jump out there once they see, oh, you know how some folk don't want, you know how some folk don't want to be the first person to get on the dance floor? That sort of thing. Yeah. The question is not whether the Kardashians admire black culture. It's whether they respect it, man. Eminem respected it. You got to give him that. That white boy respected the culture, paid his due. But more importantly, do they credit the people who they stole it from? I don't know. Appreciation ain't the same as appropriation. Again, is it admiration or exploitation? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check it out.
So today we're looking at two very different white girls who both took the same path. Alabama Barker, the rich white girl cosplaying hood princess. Too naive to realize that she's tangled herself in a world her 19 years of sheltered Calabasas life didn't quite prepare her for. She's surrounded by people who look like they were hired off Craigslist to be her friend. Before King Kylie, she was just the quiet younger sister on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. No one really paid that much attention to her. She was just one half of Kendall and Kylie, the mischievous Calabasas teenager. Everything changed around 2014 to 2015 when Kylie made the most profitable decision of her career. She got her lips done. And through this seemingly small body modification, everybody kind of went mad, and I'd say she's the reason that 5 out of 10 white girls today get lip fillers like they're getting eyelash extensions. Again, something taken from Black and Latina women. And that's when she realized, hey, I can make some money out of this. First the lips, then the tan, then the lace fronts, and just like that, she wasn't the quiet little sister anymore. She was King Kylie. She even got her own Keeping Up with Kardashians spin-off, complete with the perfect accessory, the black girl best friend, Jordyn Woods. And this was when she started, or should I say Kris Jenner started, working harder than the devil, constructing her blackfishing era.
That's a lot of branding for mom to manage.
King Kylie was entirely manufactured to capitalize on all the newfound hype around her after she got her lip fillers. She turned her blackfishing era into a $1 billion business into billion-dollar products, lip kits, beauty lines, social media influence. She even got crowned the youngest self-made billionaire off the back of aesthetics that she did not invent. And once she had squeezed every drop of value from that aesthetic, that culture, she ditched it.
Now, for you old schoolers, we finna get into Alabama Barker. She's the daughter of Travis Barker, an American musician and songwriter, music producer. You keep saying Travis Barker. Yeah, he was the drummer for the rock band Blink-182. I heard they were some bad boys. Yeah, appreciation is not the same as appropriation. Is it admiration or exploitation? I keep asking you the question. I got swing for Alabama Barker a little bit, though. Her birthday is December 24th, Christmas Eve. Mine is December 25th, Christmas Day. So I'm going to have to check her out, man. See what she's working with. Capricorn, stand up. But yeah, it's not appreciation, man. They just exploiting us. And I wonder when these black friends be hanging out with them, do they know they just being used? Or do they care? Are they just trying to get their exposure? You just a black prop that reinforce and encourage the appropriation. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alabama Barker.
Back to scheduled programming, where Kylie used black aesthetics to build an empire and then safely pivoted it out. Alabama is still deep in her hood princess fantasy. And
you know how hard Alabama tries to be black? Alabama's been obsessed with black culture since she was a kid. From her fake accent to her over-the-top makeup, she's always screaming, "Look at me, I want to be black." First off, Alabama's been copying black accents since forever. We all know she has that classic Valley Girl voice. It's obvious in her videos. But the second she does her makeup and hangs with black people, suddenly her accent changes. She acts like she's straight from the streets, some kind of gangster. It's honestly ridiculous. Girl comes from money but puts on this fake act to seem hood. Does she think that's cool? Then there's her foundation. She always goes way darker, like almost black. It's clear she's deep into blackfishing. Every time she does her makeup, she makes her skin darker and lips bigger, trying to look black. People even caught her wearing butt pads. She's obsessed with black beauty standards. Wanted a BBL too, but her mom shut that down. Like, what's her deal? And let's talk about her dating life. Alabama only dates black guys. Every ex, every fling, no exceptions. Even her friend circle's mostly black. Is it a fetish or something? This year, that messy drama with Diamond Blasi blew up. Right after her breakup, she's already with another black influencer. Girl, why not date a white guy for once? What do you think?
She's reached a new level. I'm comfy.
But she doesn't want to be black. She wants to be perceived as authentic. And in this culture, authentic is often racialized. This is called the commodification of the other, where marginalized cultures become accessories, texture. And it all
they've been having a black face. Honestly, by now, it's in their marketing and PR budget. Where do we draw the line? We as black people don't own shit, so how we gonna stop anything? That they don't steal, we just give away. Look at our music. Coming up, we're gonna trace the history behind black aesthetics, from the 1700s Tignon Law to the modern-day Crown Act. Damn sad a human being gotta tell you that you have permission to grow your own hair out of your head. Where have we come from, black people?
Comedian Louis C.K., who is very problematic in his own right, has a surprisingly astute joke about this.
You can't take people's, historical context away from them. Everybody wants us to. White people are always like, come on, it wasn't us. They wanted black people to forget everything. Every year, white people add 100 years to how long ago slavery was. I've heard educated white people say slavery was 400 years ago. No, it very wasn't. It was 140 years ago. That's two 70-year-old ladies living and dying back to back. That's how recently you could buy a guy. And it's not like slavery ended and then everything has been amazing.
I ain't gotta ask you shit about how mine grow. It was a law back in the 1700s to cover up the Tignon Law. The Crown Act is for you to be able to wear it. Who pays the price when black culture starts becoming branding? They say they do it with Asian culture too, some people said. Cornrows and dreadlocks, mine. These are hairstyles with deep cultural significance in our community, but been adopted by white celebrities and fashion designers, often without acknowledgement of their origins. Look at Marc Jacobs, the designer. He faced backlash for featuring white models with dreadlocks in a fashion show, highlighting issues of cultural appropriation in the fashion industry. Hairstyles. The Kardashians have worn cornrows, box braids, and other traditionally black hairstyles, sometimes referring to them with inaccurate or whitewashed names like the Bo Derek braids, which many see as erasure. Again, Kylie Jenner gets to have your look, ethnic women, Latino, black, and get rich off of it. Man, you got to understand the importance of recognizing and respecting the origins of cultural elements. Just can't use them all willy-nilly, running down with a Native American headdress on. You got to acknowledge the contributions of black communities and make sure folk get credit. That's essential in fostering a more equitable cultural landscape, man. You just can't pick it up and put it down when you want. The Tignaw law. Aesthetic or survival. You make the call.
And at this point, Kylie wasn't just borrowing from Black beauty standards. She was building an entire empire on them. And what makes Kylie different is she understood that Black culture sells. Obviously, she learned from watching Kim, but it's safest and most profitable when it's worn by someone who still gets to be white at the end of the day. Because when white girls like Kylie wear lace fronts and slick down baby hairs or get praised for setting trends with yucky textures, it's historical and it's political. For us, it was never optional.
In the 1800s, African women had to cover their hair with head wraps, except on Sundays when they could style their hair for church. Despite limited resources, their resilience shone through. They used butter and other household items to moisturize and condition their hair. Without combs or brushes, they used wool carding tools to untangle their hair. It was a small moment of humanity amidst their struggles. They even used bacon grease for hair care and protective styling. If our hair could talk, it would tell a story of power and survival. There is no bad texture. Our coils carry the DNA of survivors. Be proud. Be bold.
Black women didn't start wearing wigs, lace fronts, or head wraps just to look cute. We kind of did it because we were forced to. In the late 1700s in colonial Louisiana, laws were passed to regulate how Black women could look in public. It was called the Tignaw laws, and it legally required Black women to cover their hair. Why? Because white women were jealous of all of these intricate styles that Black women were doing, because white men were actually getting wandering eyes and being quite captivated by the hairstyles and even wanting to pursue these women romantically. And because Black beauty was seen as a threat to the social order, we were told to hide it, to minimize ourselves, to make whiteness feel safe. It's still happening.
We're back now with a movement to fight discrimination based on how people wear their hair. We've seen the stories, Black children being forced to remove their braids, even having their hair cut without parental permission, allegedly due to a school dress code.
Centuries later, Black girls are still getting sent home from school for having braids or locks. Black women are still being told that our hair is unprofessional, that it's unkempt, or that it's a bit too much. Even in Africa, there are still schools that forced little Black girls to shave their natural hair because it doesn't look neat enough for school. Gotta love colonialism. So that's why laws like the Crown Act had to be written, just to protect our right to exist naturally without punishment in 2025. So with that context, when Kylie Jenner steps into the spotlight with laid baby hairs and yucky wigs, she's wearing something that Black women were criminalized for. She gets $1 billion beauty empire. We get detentions, dress code violations, job rejections. Through Black aesthetics, she manufactured edge. She brought herself into relevance and desirability, and the world ate that shit up.
That's how sad we are as Black people. Folk got to make a law to let our own hair grow out our coconut mine. Our hair scared them white folks. Them afros, nigga. That's why they got y'all wearing them wigs. Them afros scared the shit out of white folk back in the 60s, mine. We got to be the chosen people because our hair grows up like everything else in the universe. The trees, the flowers, the grass, and on and on and on. Erykah Badu. But yeah, most folk today don't even care about racism, especially if it's going to get in the way of their entertainment. You understand? Y'all heard the phrase, just be yourself. But what this video shows me is that deep down, a lot of people don't think who they really are is cool. So they rather be somebody else. Yeah, coming up in our next clip, Alabama Baker, not understanding she's only 19, but you're not understanding the dichotomy between Black people and white people. She trying to get these cats to go down here and play ding dong ditch. She gonna get these boys killed, man. And you don't understand nothing about it. You come from money, but you gotta play hard. They take everything we do. TikTok trends. You already know most black creators often originate them dance trends that are later popularized by white influencers who may receive more recognition and opportunities. Yeah. But check out Alabama, or Bama. I think that's what they call it. That's her street name. Don't call her by her government name. But check her out. You're going to get these boys killed.
And it all came to a head during a live stream where she tried to get her black friends to play Ding Dong Ditch in Calabasas, proving the whole point of the conversation around her cultural appropriation.
Choose a player to Ding Dong Ditch, but they have to kick the door hardest. All right, so we should go do that, y'all.
In this neighborhood, bro, and then we get arrested, dog. Attempted burglary, like, we black. It ain't gonna look good.
Thank God that these guys were actually self-aware, because they said, in this neighborhood, we could get arrested for attempted burglary because we're black. It's not gonna look good if we go busting down doors in Calabasas. And then Alabama had the audacity to tell them that they were thinking way too deep into it in a heavy black scent and everything.
No, we can do it. Let's do it.
And that's when it was clear to me that this little girl has no idea what she's actually doing. Her friend very aptly responded that these are the problems that black people are going through. It's real out here. And to all of this, she calls them boring, despite what that guy just said. And this has reignited the whole conversation around cultural appropriation. In this day and age, how can you not know that that is a bad idea? Oh, wait. It's because she's a rich girl from Calabasas. Duh.
The article references her very intentional move towards more of a mature, clean girl style, like how it's shown in the photo. And she even says herself that she's stripping down a bit. I don't have this long mane down to my butt. I don't have these lash extensions. I don't have these long claws. Even within the article, they say that while Kylie sees these trends as markers of her youth, a lot of other people see them as cultural appropriation of black women. That's the ultimate power of whiteness, right? That I can like these things, which we may want to denigrate, but I don't have to stay there. I get to come back to the safety of whiteness because she can engage in cosplay without having to be subjected to the double standards that many black women are subjected to.
You're thinking way too deep into it. I just hear that in my dream. Like, they were being real. They were reminding her, or just telling her in the first place, that what's a joke for her could be a death sentence for them. And this is why conversations about privilege matter, because Alabama was setting up her own black friends to be arrested, assaulted, or even killed. And she didn't even think twice about it because she didn't know a damn thing about it. She wanted their rhythm, not their blues.
Cultural appropriation or appreciation. The issue is not that certain styles or features are exclusive to any one race, but that broader cultural impact, mine. Black women are often penalized socially, economically, and professionally for these same traits, for the hairstyles they wear, the twist, or whatever. That's our hair. But when the Kardashians do it, when they adopt it, they're praised. They trendsetters. It's a double standard. You know it, I know it. I ain't telling you shit you don't know, fam. I'm just tired of how other folk get to tell us. I ain't African American. I ain't black, really. What point do we name ourselves? They're misappropriating the culture. Also plays into the issues of cultural appropriation, privilege, and systemic inequality, where the style is copied, but the people behind it are not respected or uplifted. A lot of people try to excuse this by saying that some people grew up in areas with a large black population, but anybody who grew up around black people know whether it's your natural accent or just an act. Cultural significance of braids is an African tradition. Again, black women been penalized for not having straight European Caucasian hair. Yet, they benefit commercially and socially from these aesthetics while rarely acknowledging the black women who pioneered them. Their massive influence on beauty standards has shifted mainstream ideals closer to aesthetics rooted in black culture. Thank you for popping into P-Town, Rubber Bucky Baby Boomer Radio. As always, don't forget, drop a comment. What do you think? Who else do you believe has used black culture to make it to the top, mine? Hit us up. Don't forget to like, comment, again, subscribe, and follow us. PushGapRadio.com. We're bridging the gap between old and new radio. Pray until something happens. God always provides. At PushGapRadios.com, the power is in the name. Never average, never mediocre. Online, on point, and on the freaking money. In Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth, we're PushGapRadios.com. PushGapRadios.com. Dallas, baby. And we're out.
Hey, this is Scott Moran. It's not just the brothers that listen to PushGapRadio.com. For the hottest new show in the Metroplex, it's Shackleford 1 in the main event on PushGapRadio.com. Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. Dallas, baby.